Hi guys, welcome back to Puck Talk, and today we'll be continuing our mini-series where we talk about the 32 NHL teams. Today's team is the Calgary Flames, and they are 19th in the league. So let's get to it. So like I said, we're going to talk about the Calgary Flames today, and they are 19th. And we're going to decide on 5 categories for them. The 5 categories we'll decide on are the best player this season for them. The second category is their status. We're going to describe them in terms of rebuilder, contender, or retooler. And the third category is where they will finish, or where we think they will finish. And the fourth category is deadline trade that they could potentially make. And the fifth category is panic level amongst the fan base. So let's get to it then. So for those of you watching, the stats are on the left of us. So you can see those, and we'll discuss the stats a bit. So yeah, let's go.
Should we talk about the goalies first?
Sure, let's go with that.
All right. So here are the two goalies. We have Jacob Markstrom and Dan Vladar. Now, the goalie situation in Calgary is very interesting because the goalies are roughly playing at the same exact level. Wait,
Yeah,
they're very much playing on the same level.
yeah, that's true.
I like I don't know. Markstrom's just not playing to what we as Canucks fans and also just in general NHL fans are used to seeing. He
Yeah.
does have a lot of talent in net. However, he's also one, not playing to his standards, and two, making a lot of misplays, especially behind the net this season.
Those kind of things can be fixed though. So I don't want to be too
They're
worried about.
fixable, but it's just really weird. I want to say it's just a bad half/start to the season, but that is pretty worrying considering the fact of how just the overall team's performing in general.
Yeah, so Markstrom has an 893 save percentage, which is below 900, which is unexpected out of him, you know? You expect
Yeah,
him to be the 910, 920 kind of guy.
exactly.
And
We
then
know he has the talent. It's just like he's not playing to his his normal
yeah,
level.
I will say he hasn't been the same since the Edmonton series.
Mm.
That
And
series I think might have
McDavid sure showed him.
I think it shook his confidence. I don't think he's been back. I don't think he's come back from that yet. Hopefully he pulls it together because we know when he pulls it together, he is like a top goalie in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the goaltending situation is not great at the moment.
It's
I
shaky. It's
Yeah,
very
shaky.
shaky right
That's a
now.
good word, yeah. But like I'm confident it will improve throughout the season because they're playing below average. They
Mm-hmm.
will start, if they remove if like Markstrom gets up to like 900 even, the team does better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I won't be too worried about it, but it's shaky right now.
And speaking about below average, let's talk about the rest of the Calgary Flames team and as a whole, and especially their players.
Jonathan Huberdeau has 19 points.
Yeah.
That is not good for the
The,
guy that was supposed to replace Johnny Gaudreau.
exactly. This is there's a lot of things that are going on with this team that are really not good in general.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's underperforming at the exact same time.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that they made some moves this offseason as well and got all these pieces to perform. However, as of right now, it does not look like it.
Yeah, they just haven't gelled together. Like on paper, their team's good.
Mm.
Like Huberto should be an over a point per game player, and he isn't playing like that.
They got Kadri, and Kadri's been playing at an average level.
Well, Kadri's playing like he should be playing, to be
Yeah.
honest. But I think overall the team isn't playing as like overall the team's underperforming.
Mm.
So this is interesting. So now we have to decide on the best player on the team. So best player this season specifically for those of you
I
listening.
mean, is there what we give it to Lindholm? That is our best bet. Because who else is there? Kadri, Toffoli.
Yeah, one of
You
those.
give it to Lindholm, right?
I don't watch Flames games enough to like.
I've seen Flames games, highlights, and everything. So I wanna. So Flames fans can say what they want. I want to say Toffoli because he's been playing good enough for this team at least. I don't
Uh,
know. They all here's the problem. They're all three of them have the same goals.
Yeah.
Kadri and Lindholm are separated by 4 points by assists. Kadri's -7 though, and Toffoli has 4. Is a plus minus of 4.
I think we
Like,
just defer to the highest one then.
yeah, we just defer to Lindholm, right?
Yeah. And
It
then
seems fair enough.
and then I'm just gonna boo Jonathan Huberto for the bad start this season. I just want
Yeah,
that to be known.
yeah, fair.
Okay. Yeah, so Elias Lindholm is the best player on the Calgary Flames. And then next we have to decide on. So the next thing we have to decide on is the status of the team.
Here's the thing about the status of the Flames. This is technically like the closest all in season as they could get from a team on paper standpoint, but they're not playing like it.
Yeah. I
Like,
don't
at
well
this team, from the looks of it, should on paper be at least a contender in
yeah, this
terms of
is
like their team.
now for this season I just read playoff hopeful.
Yeah, right. We like this is a very playoff hopeful team, which is something that shouldn't be a thing. Because Calgary designed this team to be their all in, go for it for the next 2 seasons, 3 seasons. It depends.
Yeah, they've committed to a lot of contracts right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's it the fact that we're at a position where we call Calgary a playoff hopeful is not good. But at this point of the season, they have to consider that option. That's all
Okay.
they are right now.
So status is playoff hopeful for Calgary, which is not something people would have expected. Yeah, it's unfortunate for them. And then let's decide on where we think they will finish at the end of the season.
This team is wired enough and has the players to be top 8.
Yeah.
However, they're not playing like they deserve to be in that top 8 slot, and more like they deserve to be in that really edged off top 16 placement. And if they don't even make the playoffs, it's like what, top 18, top 20 as well.
I'd say 14 to 16 for them. Top 14 to 16. Because you see Markstrom's underperforming well a lot. Huberto's also underperforming.
Like,
These
yeah,
guys have to,
exactly.
like if they even go like start performing like a little bit better, this changes everything, you know?
Mhm. So
So I
what? I'm down to settle for the top 14 just for now.
I'd
Because
say
of the fact
14 to
that each
16.
player can perform much better than they are right now.
There's a higher ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to write. Do you think higher than 14 or lower than 14?
No, I think the reason why I say only 14 is because of the fact that I think the top 8 window is gone. If they're not top, at least gonna be top 8, they're gonna be at around the 14th place mark,
Huh.
even with their improvement. And honestly, I don't see them improving immediately soon after making this video. I
They
see
have
them
to
improving much later down the line.
they have to jump Seattle Kings and the
Oh,
Oilers.
okay, yeah, no, they're gonna. I would like to say that, yeah, they're gonna be top 14 only.
Yeah.
I don't
So
see a move like by the end of the season, top 14.
I'd write 14 to 16.
Yeah, sure. Do that instead.
14 to 16 for them. And then deadline trade. What do we think they do at
This
the
is like the thing about that question is that this is the all-in team, right? So
well,
with
they
this,
made the trades they wanted to.
exactly,
This is what they wanted
they
on paper.
don't have like spoilers for the next segment. If they do trade, Calgary's panic level is gonna go through the roof, even though it already is. But
Yeah.
still, like if you're like you can't trade, you trade for a pick, your fan base should be mad at you. You trade for a player, you better hope that player is a good resource to you. Like, because the thoughts of this being the all-in team makes the deadline trade segment really, really weird.
Well, because I think it depends on the deadline too. Because like the positioning they're in. Like if they miss the playoffs, they can't trade their first, right? If they're out of the playoffs, they can't just go around trading their first round pick,
Yeah,
especially in this draft. But then if they are in a playoff spot, do you risk trading the first round pick? Like I don't
like
know.
that's the big problem around this team about being all in. Is just that like making any move right now as a management perspective is really volatile.
But like we have seen them not be scared to make moves.
like, but what move would it be what would be the safest move that Calgary can make that would benefit them? Because as of right now, there isn't much to it.
Yeah, like the decor is Hannafin, Anderson, Tanev, Zadorov, Uyghur, and Mackey, which I'm guessing Kylington takes the spot when he comes back. So I don't think
Yeah,
you can improve much on D. If
your
okay, so
for your forwards on paper are really good as well. Like,
if I had to choose though, if I had to choose one thing, well, yeah, because for the sake of the segment, we do have to choose one move they'll make. I think they go for maybe a depth bottom six scorer.
I guess that is their best play. Yeah, no, that would be their best play. I'm like, if we're just looking at some certain areas of their stats, they don't have like a huge goal scorer or anything.
I think they trade like a second or third for a bottom six scorer.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't see any other realistic trade that they can do that's one gonna be okay and two gonna be okay with the fans.
Yeah, I don't think you could. I don't think they can risk moving their first round pick this year because
Yeah.
they might miss, and you can't
Yeah,
lose that. Yeah. So yeah, so I think they move a second or a third for a bottom six scorer.
all right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's the best thing that they can do in terms of this segment as well.
Okay. And then next is panic level.
You're panic Calgary, I'm not telling you how to feel, but this is how you should feel. You should be panicking really bad right now.
Really bad.
Like no, it's pretty bad for him considering all the things we just said. One, this is their all-in team. Two, they committed to this team for a for some amount and also for a couple of years. Three, you're in a bad position where most moves that you can make during this season look really bad.
Yeah, like this is the core you're gonna be stuck with for a while to come.
Exactly. Like
The only
you
expiring
should
contract.
I would be worried right now. Like just if we're talking about the moment this video releases, you should be worried. Because of the fact that one, your team's underperforming and that you're also stuck with this team. Any trades you make look bad and also could just be bad. Especially with the fact that you're also in this middling position where you have an equal amount of chance to miss the playoffs.
Yeah. So but then they're also underperforming, so I don't think there's too much panic either. You know you have the skill there.
You know you have that's why it's even worse.
Well, yeah, I guess that's where D-list Canucks fans forever. Like we have it, but like
Yeah.
it's not.
Like I share your sentiment right now, Calgary. It's not looking great.
Yeah,
Like as a Calgary fan, this is also from experience. As much as I sometimes really hate your team, I am very scared for you guys.
well, they could turn it. Okay, there's like two sides to it, right?
They
Like
can
if they did good this season, you have the core locked up. You're solid for the next few years. But like because you're doing bad, you're gonna
yeah,
have to deal with this core for the next few years.
like it all falls on what happens later on in the season. That's what it means to be this middling team that are gunning for like a top 16, top 14 position.
Yeah. So
Because
yeah,
like
yeah, and they're not getting any younger.
yeah,
The core,
you don't
yeah,
yeah, exactly. You don't have a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. You have to really fight for it. That's why the first round pick trade is bad. But at the
yeah,
same time, if you don't make the playoffs, you as a team would look really bad because of how much you committed to this.
yeah. So they're
That's
only
why I would say the panic level is pretty high.
Yeah, so they're only expiring contracts this year are Lucic, which I get clears a lot of cap space, but that's not like yeah.
I don't
And
think it's
then
enough.
Lewis,
It's definitely not enough.
it's 5.25 million.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then Lewis and then Phillips and Richie. Sorry, I meant we're not. Trevor Lewis, what is it's on backwards on cap friendly. Okay. Philip Matthews and Brett Ritchie. Those guys are the expiring contracts. I butchered that, but yeah, sure.
I say that their panic level should be like medium to high as of right now recording this video.
Yeah, I'd say mid to high. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because they are underperforming, and this is the core that can roll out for the next 2 or 3 years at least.
Like trust me, if you're going back to this video like close to the playoffs and they perform to how they should perform, good for you guys. I'm just gonna tell you right now that as of this recording, you guys should be panicking a little bit, at least a little bit, mid to high.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Anything else, or do you
well,
agree?
no, I agree with that. I completely agree. They're underperforming. That's all I got to say.
Mhm.
But who would have thought that? I actually love their offseason moves though. I was like, oh wow,
Yeah, no, their off season I personally thought was gonna be really good, which made me kind of sad because like I said, I'm not a big Calgary Flames fan.
yeah,
However, I will say that the moves that you did make as a team were really good, and I expected you guys to be at least top 8 in the league.
yeah. Like the hand that the GM was dealt, like Goudreau wanted to leave, and Hubert and sorry, Tkachuk wanted to move because Goudreau left. There's not much like a GM couldn't have handled that better than the Flames GM did, pretty much.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have anything else to talk about. You have anything else that you want to say?
Just good luck to the Calgary Flames, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night.